Alright guys, I'm going to build the second shelf it's going to be for the impact gun, the impact driver, the big drill, pin nailers, heat gun. It's going to hold some squares and some other stuff that I haven't figured out on the end here. I was going to do it at 36 inches, but my plywood that I had left over is only 35. So I got an inch less to deal with. Not a big deal. Should have plenty of room. So what I drew out on the table here was a quick preliminary plan, and I'll actually show you guys that real fast. So let's get you guys around here, and we'll tilt this down. And this is why, I learned this a long time ago with old cabinet maker buddy, that I like coating all of my countertops with melamine or Formica or whatever you want to call it, because you can draw these things up in Sharpie, and then when you're all done, you just take a little rubbing alcohol, or in my case acetone, and you just erase it. And it's a more durable surface, but this is the main reason. I get to draw stuff out, and if I don't like it, I can just lacquer thinner it out. So basically I'm going to be cutting slots. These are 1 3/8. These are 1 1/4. Heat gun, big drill. This is going to be a smaller hole. I just, use something to trace it out. This is going to be an oval. I want it to be at 30 degrees so it holds the gun cocked at an angle slightly. And then I'm going to make some slots and stuff to hold all of my straight edges and squares and whatnot. So this is the preliminary plan. The piece of wood that we're going to use is that thing over there. I already started to put a Forstner bit hole in it. You're going to need Forstner bits if you got them. If not, a hole saw would work fine. Drivers, possibly screws. Going to need glue, wood glue. Going to need some, in my case, I'm going to use pin or brad nails. And let's see, is there anything else? Maybe in my case, again, I'm going to paint it white, so can of paint wouldn't hurt. Possibly might need a jigsaw. I think that's it as far as tools go. So we'll get started here shortly. Alright, so where I'm going to start is I'm just going to lay out all of my holes first. And I'll just get them cut in. So I know that, that these are 6 inches up. And it's 4 6 3/4 over on the second one. 6 3/4 by 6 inches. Didn't quite get that. And then the next one's 8 inches up. So let's see. 4 and 4 is 8, and 3/4 and 3/4 is 1 1/2, so that's 9 1/2, that's 11 1/2. And I'll double check that in my mind again. By 8. 4, 8, 9 1/2, 11 1/2. Check that by just yep. And then the next one is also 1 1/4. So 1 3/8, 1 1/4. So 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 14. 15 1/2, 16 1/4. Oh, that one's down at 6. 16 1/4 by 6. That one's 1 1/4. So I'm just locating all the hole points. Guys, here's my second organization shelf. I'll give you a quick layout. So overall it's 35 inches wide. That's arbitrary, it could be wider than that. My first slot in for one of my, in fact I'll put them on there while we do this. My impact gun, my DeWalt impact gun is first. That's 2 inches over. The slot is 6 inches deep to center, and the slot itself is just a touch over 1.5 inches, inch and 9/16 wide. So that's the first one. Second one is the same thing. It is 6 inches deep. The spacing on them is 4 3/4. So this is 4 3/4 over. Spacing to each one is 4 3/4. So the next two are going to be brad and pin nailers. The brad nailer is, I believe, 8 inches deep to center. Yeah, 8 inches deep. Pin nailer is back to 6 inches deep, and again, it's 4 3/4, center to center. Oh, and the width is 1 1/4 on the brad and pin nailer. And then next we have my heat gun, which is 4 3/4 over. The hole itself for the heat gun is 1.5. Sits like that. And then the next thing is, which I'm using right now, my large drill. That's the next one over. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. And then in between those, so at 2 3/8, I did a slot for framing square. And I did, I drilled holes another, the next spacing was actually only 4.5, and that is for my air tank, and that doesn't fit because of probably because of the paint. I know it fit before. Paint. And then the adapter. I know this fit, guys, because I put it in here to test it. So it must be, yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is the paint. Okay. Holy cow. So I made that a touch tight. I'll have to go back through that with a sander or the Forstner bit or something. That's where my air tank goes though. And I wanted it to be tight so it'd stay in there. And then I've got a couple more slots, so I've got a small framing square that fits in this one here. I've got a machinist square that fits here, and the angle finder that fits in there. So, and I'm sure I can make some other stuff. I don't keep my screwdrivers out, but that's my organization shelf for right now. I'm pretty stoked on it. The hole for the large drill, I showed you guys that in another video. Center is 8 inches back, and again it's on that, from this first slot, it's on that 4 3/4 inch spacing. And I drilled it at a 45-degree angle using a guide, and that's about it. Hope you guys like the shelf and hope it helps someone. Thanks.